Hey there, Black Mom Diaries. When I say self-care, probably what comes to mind is going to the spa, or getting your nails and toes done, or maybe getting your hair done. But there is so much more to self-care than that. It's like an onion with lots of layers. And our guest today, Miss Amber Rowe, is here to talk all about self-care. And trust me, you're going to want to listen because she's got lots of gems to share. Up next on the Black Mom Diaries. Hey guys, this is Patricia.
And I am Latanya.
And welcome to the Black Mom Diaries.
Black Mom Diary Lounge. We just named it that.
The virtual lounge.
Hey.
How are you doing today, Latanya?
It's it's hot as fish grease outside. I'm sorry, I'm gonna use that one. I used to say something else, but my kids stopped me from saying it because they, no, not that one, but I would say it's hot as fish pee. And they would say, Mom, how do you know fish pee is hot? I was like, kids, I could say whatever I want. I could have said it's hotter than a unicorn's nose hair, but they just, it has to make sense to kids.
Right. Yeah, it really does. They're so literal, which is funny. Yeah. They have such incredible imaginations. So
yeah, that's funny. You made me think of a story right quick, and I didn't even ask you how I'm doing, and to start, just started talking. I made some soup for my daughter. She wasn't feeling well when she was about 6. And I say, oh boy, this soup, I put my foot in it. And my daughter said, what? Where? Are you okay, mommy? And I was, I was cracking up because I had to remember, kids are, it is right. What it is in front of them. So
you say you put your foot in it and they think you really put your foot in it. I know.
Yeah. And it's crazy because I limped a little bit when I said it. But well,
my husband said that to our kids and our daughter. He was like, it's good, right? Because he made something. He was like, it's good, right? Because I put my foot in it. And she kind of looked at him and then looked at the food like, that's gross.
I'm glad it wasn't the little one that I had now, because he probably would just let the food fall out of his mouth and go, ill, because, but my daughter was looking for my foot in the soup. So I'm glad that wasn't how it went. But how's your day going?
You know what? Today is a good day. I have been dreaming. I've been allowing myself to dream. Ooh. And one of the things that I've been dreaming about is a getaway. So one of my goal vacations is to Maldives. And so I've been looking on this website. They have these different packages. And so now I'm like, do I want to dream about going with my husband for a spouse getaway? There's another one for a family getaway, which is really nice. And I'm like, I would love for my kids to come here too. So do I want to go with my family, my husband and the kids, or do I want to go with my husband?
I mean, I can answer that for you if you want me to, because I'm not taking my kids to no Maldives. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm trying to go to look crazy. I ain't trying to go to feed people and figure out what you're gonna wear, because you're gonna be naked messing around with me if we go somewhere like that. So right. I don't want to go anywhere to look after anybody. I'm still stuck at this cabin and I just want it to be snowing in a cabin. I don't know. I just want that because I'm a writer. I like to write and reflect. So not that I got anything against that, the Maldives. I don't have anything against it. That's a place I would like to go, but I just what is this? I think it's Switzerland has this really nice resort, and you can get really quiet in there. Yeah. That's good, right? And then if the kids are not there, then it can be even more quiet. So they're not going. Yep.
You can sleep in.
There's no option.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. So it's like, I want my kids to go on this experience, but I really need to think about myself a little bit more and take better care of myself.
Yeah, we don't do that enough, but I hear we have a guest that is going to push us in that direction. Who we got today?
We got, this is like a real 21st century Renaissance woman. And I am so excited about this person being here. Let me just break it down for you who this is. Miss Amber Rowe. Mm-hmm. She is a professional development coach with over 15 years experience in the beauty industry. She has an impressive career, which includes freelance nail artistry for celebrities. Ooh. In her mission to level up and preserve the integrity and future of the beauty industry, Amber realized the importance of professional development versus protocols and landed her first contract with a multi-million-dollar spa chain. She's a published author that has interviewed on numerous media platforms. She's a motivational speaker who enjoys encouraging beauty professionals, empowering women's groups, and working with youth to address pressures that lead to teen violence. Amber resides in Austin, woo-woo, where she enjoys life with her husband and her 2 little ones. And it is my pleasure to welcome Miss Amber Rowe to the Black Mom Diaries virtual house. Welcome.
Hey.
Come on in. Hi. Come on in.
Hello, everyone. Thank you guys so much for such a beautiful introduction. You know, I'm always so humbled when I hear my bio because I'm like, whoa, like I really went through those things and I have helped people and I loved on people and I accomplished something. So I'm super grateful for that intro and honored to be here.
Girl, you are like that intro and so much more. I've known you for a few years and I am just impressed with all the things that you do. You are seriously just a superwoman, but not just a superwoman that does and does and does. You are a superwoman that knows how to take a break, rest, and take care of yourself, which makes you even more super. So.
Absolutely. Yes, it's so important. It's so crucial. I'm so glad we're going to be talking about that today.
Yeah, I'm very convinced, Patricia, that the people that you know all come from the same place that Superwoman came from. Like that, you just have some amazing people in your circle. Oh, right? You know, it's just like that makes, I'm in good company, man. I mean, I feel amazing right now.
Well, I mean, you are one of those amazing people that I have in my circle. So
thank you. You too.
Thank you for shedding that light on me. That's so true. I know some really incredible, amazing, interesting people. So
yes, and we're meeting another one today. Like I'm glad you're here, Miss Amber Rowe. I am so ready to soak up your greatness because that's what I do. I got my biscuit ready. Let's go.
I love it.
Well, let's dive right in. Let's get the appetizer going. So there's a couple of things that I like to ask just to get us all warmed up. What is your relationship like with your mama?
My relationship with my mother is great, but it didn't always start off that way. My mother and I have always had a battle of the wills. And so she's always tried to put me in this little box, like, don't get hurt, don't do this, don't do that, you know, because she's had some challenges growing up herself. And so, of course, as a loving mother, you don't want those same things to happen to your child, but you need to fall, you need to bruise your knees, you need to have experiences to help you develop yourself. And so I think now as an adult, I have had a much better experience with my mother. And so that experience, I'm proud to say we both worked on. We've both put in the time because see, she always thinks I'm that little, you know, baby, 6-year-old, you know, forever. And I'm like, no, ma'am, I'm far from 6 years old. You know, it just, you know, I appreciate that she's alive. I appreciate that she wants to have a relationship with me because I know that's not the case for many women. And so I'm honored for that alone. So yeah, that's how my relationship is. I guess, I hope I answered it, but it's really, it's growing. That's what I would say.
Continuing to evolve and grow. Yeah. And that's so funny that you said that about her wanting to protect you and kind of sort of keep you in a bubble because of her experiences, because I feel like I see myself doing that a lot. And my kids get so aggravated with me. They're like, just let me be, mama. Jeez. And I'm like, well, first of all, watch your language.
Yes.
And second of all, okay, sorry, I'll back up. And yeah, I'm realizing that I need to let them
get bumps and bruises. I don't want to see it, but I'm like, they're going to be okay. I got bumps and bruises and I'm fine. So I'll let them get bumps and bruises too.
Yeah, meanwhile, I'm calling the insurance company. Like, did we pay our deductible? Because I just told him to go climb that rock and see how I feel on the other side. I love experience is the best
Just
teacher.
throw
I
it right
love
in
it.
there.
I do. It's just I can't help that because that's how I grew up. Like, go try it.
Mm.
Stove hot. You're gonna find out, you know. Skin will go back. The skin will grow back, you know. I don't know. I tell them that. I don't even know if it's true, you know.
Sometimes it depends. It depends.
Yeah, the level of burn. Yes.
Right. Yeah. What about your mom philosophy? Is that something that you got from your mom, or is that something that you kind of sort of created after becoming a mom yourself?
I think I've carried a little bit of both. So my mom always encouraged me to never give up on myself first. So like before I go in for a challenge of whatever it is that I'm trying to conquer, let's first think about making sure you don't give up on yourself. And so I've always carried that with me because I think sometimes we look at challenges and we're like, we're not going to give up. We're just not going to give up on this thing, whatever this thing is. But have you given up on yourself before you even get to the thing? So that's like the first hurdle, just making sure that you just take care of your own mindset and your thought processes before a challenge. And so I carry that with me. And for my children, they're really young right now, but I'm trying to help them evolve in that same mindset and also keep them aware of their surroundings, as much as you don't want to give up on yourself and you don't want to give up on the things that you're working on, life happens. And so I'm just trying to make sure that not only I give them the real about things, but I prepare them for the hits and the jabs and things like that.
So I have a question about giving up on yourself. I don't think a lot of people or moms, let's just keep it into this mom spectrum. I don't think we know the difference sometimes because we're so helpful in our spaces with the ones that I know. What's the difference? Is giving up on myself? How does that feel as opposed to giving up on my like things for my family? Because we put those things together. We don't separate them.
Yeah, I would say just kind of bringing it back into my own personal experiences. Um, like for instance, I like using like parables. So like if I'm challenged with, I don't know, maybe trying to for communication. Okay, so like communication is key in a family, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I am challenged with communication, and I know personally I have a lot of challenges with communication that stem from things from my youth, experiences, things like that, I can't give up on communication, right? I can't just not talk to my family, but I also
Mm-hmm.
have to work within myself. What is it? What is it, Amber? Like, what is your block? What is this stemming from? And I don't want to give up on working on that part of me. And when I'm looking at communication, for an example, towards my family, there's a lot of things that attach themselves to your experience. So like if you were always yelled at, if you were abused when you were a child, no matter what it was, that can keep you in a closed box. You don't want to talk. And so then if something happens to your child or to someone that you love, how can you get through that, not give up on yourself, still work on yourself and
Mm-hmm.
challenge and go towards that challenge and still grow? And I think that's the biggest thing, is giving yourself permission to grow into a thing. We may have this, cape and this sparkly glow, as
Mm-hmm.
mamas, but we still have things that we're working on. We still have kryptonite. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I think when we, in terms of just addressing what you said, I really feel like not giving up on myself gives me the fuel to do that second piece, which is, feeling like I'm not giving up on my family. It's a chain reaction. If I've given up on myself, how is that output going to really look towards my family, whatever the challenge is? So I hope that makes some kind of sense.
No, you made perfect sense. I tell
Yeah.
some new moms that I meet that time makes you a mom because I know you feel that instant mom sensation, when you have some people do, but time makes you a mom. By the time
Yes.
they get, and then there's another adjustment, and then there's another adjustment. That's why I always listen to, some older mom who has that, that saturatedness in them. And I'm like, I'm at this stage. What were you doing at this stage?
Yes.
That's really good, because you think you're failing if you don't,
Yes.
if you don't do something right. I yelled at him for spilling milk. Well, he's gonna spill milk again. Don't worry.
Right.
And that time you make it right. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
you
Don't
you
give
were
up
right.
on how you respond. Yeah.
And inner
That's so
dialogue
true.
is so important. That inner
Mhm.
dialogue.
Yes. Yes.
And I think like having grace with yourself, recognizing that you are not a perfect being. And so you're going to make mistakes and you're going to learn from it and you're going to move forward. And it's really how you learn from it and move forward that matters. And just know that your kids will forgive you. I know like sometimes I've had those big mom fails. And I think that I get so down on myself. Like, I can't believe I did this. You should know better. And then I just go to my kids and I just humbly apologize and just say, Mama made a mistake. Will you please forgive me? And they do. And then sometimes they're like, I don't know, and fine. Okay, if that's where you are, that's where you are. But I just want you to know that I sincerely apologize. I recognize what I did was not okay. I'm sorry about that. I want you to forgive me. And I want you to know that I'm going to work on it to do better next time. And
That's
really,
beautiful.
yeah. And just really recognizing that it's okay as an adult, as a parent, to apologize to your kids. Because I don't ever remember getting that from the people that raised me when I was a kid. So learning to adopt that has been a big thing for me.
That's a beautiful example. I mean, just not, like I was saying earlier, just don't give up on you in the situation. You humbly went to your children. I am always just taken back by the amount of love that my daughters have for me, even when I make a mistake. And they're learning from me that it is okay, to fall down and get back up. It's okay. It's okay to communicate. And so I just love what you said. That's so beautiful.
Well, on that note, because that not giving up on yourself in those tough moments as a mom is really challenging. What would you say for yourself is one of the most challenging parts about being a mom?
So I think one of the things that I absolutely put a pin in earlier is I always feel like I have to be everything. I have to, and my husband is very involved, right? But I have this thing in me that I have to do everything. And I'm like, I don't. I know this. I talk to myself. I say, you know what? I can go for a walk. I can go to the grocery store. I don't have to bring the kids with me, but I always feel like I have to. They're like my little, like I'm a kangaroo and they're always in my pouch thing. I'm like, no, I don't have to do that. And so it's really just, that is a big challenge for me. It's just really letting go. And it can cause, I've learned in my own relationship, it's caused a lot of tension, because my husband's like, will you please just go and do something for yourself? And this is leading up to what we're talking about today. Will you please just go? You don't need to take the kids. You don't have to prepare their meals before you leave. Like, I know what they eat too, and I don't have to do all this stuff. And so I don't know where that is. I'm still just in a discovery place of why I feel like I have to take on the whole burden, but I don't. And now that I'm thinking about it, because healing happens all throughout the day and everything like that, I feel like just seeing my mother, a single parent, maybe that's what it is. So I'm kind of putting a pin in that. Maybe that's what it was for me, just seeing my mother, single mom. She's doing it all. And so maybe that's why I feel like I have that, even though I'm married. So that hey, what was that?
And you see things on the outside too. You see those roles on the outside, and you really don't know what's going on in the inside. Like, I never watched that. Was it the Leave It to Beaver? Wasn't it the Mom of the Time?
That was one of those, yeah.
Wasn't it one of those types of, where she was cooking, like she had on the apron the whole day,
except working, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, like you're thinking now, you didn't see her go out the house, but because some of us go out of the house and work, and then she has on an apron, and every time someone turns around, she has his shoes or she has his food, she has this type of thing. You didn't see her say, guys, I'm gonna put down the apron, I'm gonna go for a walk.
Right. I need a break. Did
Yeah,
she take a break?
yeah.
Did moms back then take breaks? It's like,
I
yeah,
don't know. Maybe they did. Maybe they
maybe.
did, but
Who knows?
I don't
The
know.
You're just
world,
looked
Because
down
we
on.
don't know. We don't know.
yes,
So you get that pressure from the outside, like,
yes.
okay, I got to do that. I remember the first
Mhm.
time I said, I want to go walking in the afternoon, but I got to feed the kids before a cup, the time. So I go for a quick walk and I come back and my husband had fed my kids. So I was like, I'm going to walk a little further tomorrow,
Mm.
because if he might put him to bed next time. You know what I'm saying?
You're like, woo.
But it was okay.
That is so funny.
Everything was okay.
Right.
Everything
That's
was
so
okay.
true. It's like you think that, and I mean, I think that there might be this expectation that, this is kind of sort of my role, even though times have changed. This is my role as mom, and I'm supposed to have all this motherly love and care to give to my children and to my family. And I know for me, going from 1 to 2, I felt like a bad chick, like a total bad chick. Like, I got this. I did all of this. I came home from my full-time job, and then I laid it down. And then, dad is out of the house because my husband is kind of sort of up there with your husband, Amber, just all out doing everything. And so here I am, doing my thing. And inside, I'm kind of like, ugh, I need a break.
Mhm.
But no, I'm just gonna keep on pushing because I feel like a total bad chick. And it's like when I went out of town when my daughter was 9 months old for like a long weekend, I came back and they were fine. When I went out of town for a week, when I was in graduate school for a school thing, I came back and they were fine. They were having a blast with their dad. Like, no, nothing went awry. And I had a great time and they were great, so.
So Amber, you're
Yes.
hearing Patricia say this. What is going through your mind right now? Because this is your area. What's going on?
Well, what's going through my mind is like the battle within versus reality. And I feel like whatever the root systems are to why I myself, or maybe some of the mothers who are listening, why they are in this holding space where they just keep going in circles and going in circles and going in circles. I'm like, you have to face that. And even right now, I'm thinking like, I haven't done that in a long time, but it still comes up. And I always like I said, I put a pin in it. Like, why are you doing that? Why, Amber? Why are you doing that? And so, yeah, as she's speaking, I'm just thinking about the inner battle, the inner voice, the inner actions versus the reality of what's going on around you. And that is so important.
What would she need to do? And I mean, I'm just, I'm getting
Yes.
some, practical things out there for our people.
So I think the first thing is the self-talk, the self like awareness. Like, you have to put a stop to something if you're not liking the behaviors and patterns. And so I would say just be self-aware. Just say, you know what? This is not cool. And I don't know really if I can keep on with this. I think that is the open door to whatever solutions that you try after. I would say once you come up with that awareness and you're like, okay, then you have to immediately put in place markers. So it's like, okay, well, I have done something or experienced something that I really don't like how I responded to. So what can I do now to put a almost like a safety blanket in place so you don't keep going in that holding space? And so a lot of times what I do for myself personally, I have a little calendar, a personal calendar, and it's actually something that can fit in my purse. And what I do is I gauge like, okay, how long has it been since I saw or felt that pattern of behavior? And then I can usually see like a pattern. So it'll be like maybe 2 weeks or so. And this will be leading up to the whole self-care thing that we were talking about earlier. But I'll see that it's about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks or so. And so I make sure that if I'm feeling these things coming up, I will literally put down some time for myself around that specific day in that week to do nothing for my, and I will literally either go sit in my car, ladies. You already know what I'm saying. Go sit in your car. Even if you don't go anywhere, just carve out time to do nothing and either address that thing, start asking yourself questions, go for a walk. I love going for walks when the Texas sun goes down because it's a little toasty.
Yeah.
And right before the mosquitoes, go ahead.
But see, that's that magic hour. Okay. That's that magic hour.
Find the magic hour.
Yes.
Well, so that's
Yes,
kind of sort of
yeah.
scratching the surface of why we're here chatting today. So I want to know, because you're really good at this, and I've always thought that you're really good at this. How would you define self-care? And then how did you get started in doing this for yourself and encouraging other people?
So I would define self-care as, it's actually kind of a play on words. I mean, it's self-care, but really I think it's self-awareness. That's what I think it is. It's awareness of yourself and whatever it is that you need. And sometimes we don't know what that is. And I feel like for me, self-care was such a, I mean, to say like, oh, you need to, take care of yourself, like do some self-care. But I don't think all the times, and like in my case, I didn't really know what caring for myself really was. I mean, outside of like, oh, I'm gonna go have a drink with some friends, or oh, I'm gonna, go to the spa or something like that. As we were saying earlier, these are kind of superficial things, but really, what speaks to your spirit? What speaks to your soul? What do you connect with when you're just all by yourself, when you're faced with you? What care does this vessel, when you look at yourself in the mirror, what care do you really need? And I think that's the first discovery that I had, was just thinking about what I like, because the things that I liked when I was in my teenage years, I don't like really like those things now, going to the club and all that. I don't like that anymore.
The music hasn't changed though. I like the music. That's the only thing I'll take with me, right?
Yes, right. And so self-awareness, and then also rediscovering who you are in this particular space of really trying to figure out what your self-care plan is. And then I would say to your second question, if you could remind me what that was.
How did you get started in it?
Yes.
Did you just kind of
yes,
sort of
thank you for
stumble
the
in it, or was
reminder.
this like, I put my
No.
foot down and I'm going to start doing this?
No, actually, it was rooted. So, literally, I have a daughter who's 2 years old, and my true, full-fledged, non-superficial self-care plan kicked in when my 2-year-old daughter was born. And I went through an extremely tough depression with her. And I never thought I would be that mom who went through depression after, the postpartum depression. And I was just like, what is this? Like, it wasn't that I didn't want my child or anything, but I was just low, like my spirit was low. And I don't, if anybody, you know me, Patricia, I don't like staying in those places for long because I like the good vibes. I like the high energy. But I had to address this. I never experienced it before. And I was like, whoa, pump the brakes. Where did this come from? And so I knew at that point, going through postpartum depression, that I had to learn about it, face it, just like we were talking about earlier, facing those challenges, not give up on myself, not say, oh, I guess this is just what people go through, so I'll just walk it out. I was like, no, I need to know about this. I want to know. And then over time, as I discovered what this was and how I was navigating through it, I started putting things in place to make sure, just like I was saying earlier, those notes on my calendar, like, okay, it's taken about this many days before I start getting a little cranky or getting a little, snappy at my husband, or, I just need some time to myself. I need cave time, girl cave, not man cave, girl cave time. I don't want to look at anybody. I just want to be by myself. And so that's kind of sort of how I jump started my self-care plan for myself.
That's awesome. A lot of us don't know what it looked like either. I went through postpartum depression too, but I didn't know that's what it was. I thought I was losing my mind. So I can totally gel with you on that. It's a battle if you don't have the proper support.
Yes.
Just someone saying, I know what you're going through. Mm-mm. But that's
Not
awesome how
enough.
you got there. Yeah, no, it's not.
Yeah. Let me know if you need anything. Call me if you need anything. Sometimes it's like, I don't know what I need.
I don't even know what I need.
I don't know what it is. I didn't know what it
Right.
was, So, I just thought I hated everybody, especially my baby. It was really, I thought it was the anesthesia they put in my back. I mean, you just start
You
to
just
guessing.
don't know. You just don't know.
You're right. I hear the self-care, and the first thing I think of is, just like you said, some type of outward, superficial type of thing. So how is this connected to the beauty industry?
So the beauty industry is exactly what you just said. It's very superficial, whether you're looking at the makeup industry, cosmetic industry, whether you're looking at, I mean, it just, getting your hair done, whatever it is, it's all very outward. It's what others see whenever you go and get that experience. But what I learned, even being in the industry myself, is that I was kind of, especially during that postpartum depression time, I was really almost kind of living like a double life. Like I would be speaking to friends and family about, you got to take care of yourself. You got to do this, do that, go to the spa, girl, do all this and do that. But on the back end, I was like, oh, whoa, what am I, how can I say this when those things don't even really work for me right now? And so I really just feel like the connection between those two is really realizing, again, what is it that works for you? The spa thing, I've been in the spa industry, as you guys said earlier, over 15 years. That didn't work for me. And so I went on this huge discovery of like, what really is wellness? What really is self care? What is it to be well? What is that? And so that's when I started, I did all kinds of things. Like I did yoga, I did, things that were tapping into more of the spiritual aspect of me and not so much the superficial. How I was eating at the time, making sure that I wasn't, I learned more about like my blood type and all kinds of things just to try to really get an assessment, hormone panels, all kind of stuff to really kind of introspect more of what that self-care meant. And so that's a discovery. Once you start that journey, oh my goodness, you'll start finding out all kinds of stuff that you just don't like, or that it doesn't float your boat. It doesn't speak to you. And so being in the beauty industry definitely helped me jumpstart that perspective, but it wasn't what took me to the home run. It just wasn't enough. And so my message in most of those scenarios definitely has to deal with self now. Even when I'm speaking to young groups, I'm always talking. I mean, most of my conversation with them is about how they're doing. Like, how are you? Not what you're going to do when you get out in the industry. It's how are you today? And really what that looks like.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, it sounds like the parts of the beauty industry, like the spa and getting my hair done, makeup, nails and feet, that is kind of sort of like the beginning of it, but then going a lot deeper and taking a more holistic approach, because you said that you really were looking for things that spoke deeply to you on a spiritual level, hit your soul, and really helped you feel cleansed and beautiful on the inside, not just on the outside, but
absolutely
on the inside. And
that is absolutely
these
correct.
things might be, I might feel like 1,000 times better on the inside and outside if I go and get my hair done after having a long week or long month. But just because that speaks to me doesn't necessarily mean that it will speak to other people. On that note, would you say that you would encourage anybody working on learning a little bit more about self-care for themselves to dig deeper and not just stop at the hair and the nails?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I would say dig deeper because there's so many aspects to who you are as an individual. I mean, the world is constantly throwing out what you should buy, what you should do, how you should look, what clothes you should wear. And so there's a lot of boxing out there once you start looking on social media. Like there's a lot of packaging, and not every package is for everyone, and so that quiet time when you're just taking a moment, once you know what your your lever is, like if you feel like your lever is getting a little red and you need to take a moment, you have to take some time and say, you know what, how is it that I really feel today? What didn't I like that happened today? When I went to go to that particular park, did I like the walk I was on, or do I want to try something a little bit more challenging next time? I mean, literally the options and the different ways you can do things are limitless, but it really, really falls back into you as an individual and just taking the time to think, listen to yourself, because there's so much outside influence.
There's so many layers to that, what you're talking about. It really is, because you kind of got to go through the steps to get to that, like the self-confidence, and then the self-worth. Like, do like do I really deserve it? I don't care if you go get your hair and your nails done, you're not going to appreciate what you did to yourself. I'm not saying it like you did something bad, but you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
You're not gonna appreciate that dress you wore, or your pretty sparkly toes, because you don't know that you deserve it, and you do. You deserve all the goodness and the great things, right? So that's
Yes.
the layers that you have to go through.
Absolutely. That is so beautiful how you said that, because I really had to experience that on my own. I had to really just kind of get with Amber and say, I grant myself permission to be whatever this is right now, and then work higher from there. I had to grant myself that permission. And just even giving myself permission to be in that place opened up the self-awareness. It opened up, just like you were saying earlier, just the knowing that I do deserve it. In that mindset, you start shifting, you start feeling things, you start wanting to try new things, and maybe put down some things. And so this is my jam.
Yeah. I
I
know.
love
I
it.
could talk about this. I could talk just about this subject for hours. Just like, like you and so many of us, we lose our way to ourselves, because we've been told we're something else. But
Right.
I don't. We're not going to go into that. Like I said, I get a little emotional, because I see many women that you just, we just don't know how powerful and beautiful you are, just with the flip of your hair. I mean, it's just little things in the back of your eyes, and the lift of your cheek. Like, I can go down.
Absolutely.
You're amazing. You guys are amazing,
Mm-hmm.
especially moms who we carry a lot.
Yeah.
We make that ship row. Oh,
Yes,
no
we
pun
do.
intended. Hey!
Hey, I see what you did there.
I love that.
So would you say that that's like step one in the process of getting started? Just sit with yourself and give yourself permission, or what would you say is like step one in getting started?
I would say the first thing in getting started is definitely self-awareness, knowing those shifts when they come. And when they come, putting, like I said, a little safety blanket on the calendar, like, okay, I have to deal with this, because it seems like weeks or so, or every time I see my baby's daddy, or every time I do this or do that, there's triggers out there, right?
Yes.
So you have to put something on the calendar once you are aware that something's happening and you want to move forward and change. Second step would definitely be putting something on the calendar to address and give yourself opportunity to even think about it, to focus on it. That's important too, because if you ladies know, if you don't put it on the calendar, if you don't set the time aside for yourself, it will fly by. And then there's a year that went by and you didn't address it.
That's
You
so
can't
true.
do
I
that.
need help with that. I need help with
That's so
that.
true. And I find that I know like I was an administrative assistant for years outside of my house, and I am the administrative assistant inside of my house because it's so true, Amber. That works for my family. That works for my partner. And sometimes it's not just putting it on the calendar. Sometimes it's writing it on the whiteboard in our kitchen. And sometimes it's verbal reminders, days out, and then, like a week out, and then a couple days out, and then the day on the day. Just so that I can stay consistent to myself, but also my very busy partner can be like, oh yes, okay, so she's doing this, so I have to make sure that I'm not doing anything, or if I'm doing something also, that we've made arrangements for the kids.
I need a class on that, Patricia. I need a class.
I got you, girl. I got you.
I do. I really do. Yeah. I hold it all in my head, and then when I'm tired of everybody, I just go close my door. And they know. They be like, "Oh, mama, she's okay.
It's mama time."
At least they know.
My husband came home the other day, and the door was closed, and he was like, "You needed some time to yourself. I have. Thank you so much." He's like, "Okay, I'll close the door behind me. Thanks."
That's so sweet. But look at how beautiful that was. Everybody's in sync with their own self-care, and so when your husband, significant other, boyfriend, whoever it is that you got there with you, when they're in sync with what you want to do with yourself, that really helps. But sometimes you don't always have that situation. Sometimes you have to fight for your time. And so whatever it takes to do that, whether you prepare and get a babysitter, or just whatever that takes, you have to put it on the calendar and make it a priority, because you are the biggest priority.
Right. Well, so we've talked a lot about this, and I love how you lay it out and you make it sound so simple and just so easy to do. There is something that you do that I am just in awe of, and I want you to talk a little bit about that before we move on. Your Amber weekend, where you go away all by yourself and do your own thing.
Yes.
Let's talk about how that started, and just tell us a little bit about that.
So the weekend started because I really, coming up, like I said, off of that postpartum depression, I knew I had to put something in place. And so my birthday is I just love my birthday, because it's a great time. It comes around every year. It's going to be there. So why not just wrap your weekend into that time, right? And plus everybody's on board with it because they know that's your weekend. And so that's when it all started. And I fumbled around a lot in the beginning. I was like, oh, I'm going to, bring all these books and, bring certain types of foods that I wanted to eat. And, I'm going to plan to go walks in the morning, wherever I'm, Airbnb or wherever I'm at. None of that stuff worked some of the first times, because I had this idea, right? Like we were talking earlier about things, outside influences, navigating how you do your personal time with yourself. And so over time, I started saying, you know what, a common denominator here is that I love water. So let's try to get by some water every time I go by by my weekend. Or one constant thing that's happened is I always want to make sure that I have music, whether that's, so I need internet, or I bring my own instruments because I love to play percussion. So whatever it is that you find consistent after you fumble through your first couple days, weeks, whatever it is that you can take for yourself, my biggest piece would be to say, just be open, just get in the environment and feel it. I need trees. And earlier you were talking about mountains. I love mountains. I'm such a mountain person, mountains and water. And so I feel like just you start learning what you want to design your personal time like. But just to start would be just making sure that you find a marker in the year and you just go.
That's good. I probably would just go sleep.
Yes.
That's what I like that. I don't know. It's because sometimes I don't think we get enough
rest.
And to me, sleep is healing. It also refreshes your mind too. And I keep saying this, but I love numerology. And a part of the numerology is us finding out who you are. Because I'm a 6, a personality 6. I like people. I love fellowship and family, and just I can rest with my kids on vacation. I know I was just playing, messing around with I'm going to leave them, but I really do like them around me. But my kids are older than yours. My youngest is 7, my oldest is 12. And when I went through that, and I know we're going to move on, but this is just me knowing the ability to self-assess, and also for my kids. When I went through that postpartum depression, my kids started to be trained on my moods. It wasn't a bad thing. It actually worked out to be very helpful as they grew. So if we go somewhere and I say, okay, guys, you guys are going to go in, I had 3 of you guys close in age. That's why I did that. Y'all go play. They don't get upset with me. They don't get upset with me. They know, okay, that's mom. We'll let her go for the whole day. And they do. And I'm actually okay with that. I don't even need to go anywhere by myself until I do it. See there? I'm going to try it. I'll probably never go back after that. But that's very awesome that you do it. Do you do it? How many times a year do you do that?
I try to do 2 times a year, but I have to do 1 time of year. Now with COVID and circumstances, it's been kind of scratchy this past year, but I still went the 1 weekend. I had to make it happen. So
it's not a lot of pressure around that. You understand? Like if you said, start out slow, ladies. It's not even if it's just one night in a hotel.
Absolutely. Yes.
Sometimes we get overwhelmed because the grandeur of what we're thinking, but it can move up to, I got a friend that just went to Puerto Rico for a week by herself.
You have to start there unless you want to start there. Like you said, Tanya, go to the hotel down the street and don't tell.
And I've done that. Yes.
Yes. Don't tell them where you're going.
Yeah. No, my kids will find me.
Yeah, I feel like mine would too. So, well, man, this has been so helpful. And this has just been really inspiring for me. So I'm just super thankful that you have been willing to share all of this. I want to say juicy information. It's so valuable. And it's all meat. I know I have this expression. I don't know where I got it from, but it's like, chew the meat, throw away the fat. And it's like, there's no fat. It's all nice, tender meat. So I love it. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. We're going to switch gears here in the virtual house, and LaTanya's gonna do her game. But are you ready?
I am ready.
For what?
Hit it.
To jig. Jig what? Gigolo. Oh, okay. We ready. All right. That's crazy because people sing that different. I just asked a couple of questions, about 7 or 8. I just want to hear what your first response to it is. And you kind of already answered a couple of them, but I want to see. We like to see it. So the first question is, what's the best child repellent? Like they're insects, right?
The best child repellent. I'm sorry, I have to pass. Can you?
Okay, I was gonna say, do you need to phone a friend? You need to phone a friend real quick.
Ice cream.
No, you definitely about to draw everybody.
Oh my goodness.
Well, what's
hysterical.
What's your best weird parent moment?
Oh. Best weird parent moment? I don't know if it was the best.
It's the best one.
Oh, y'all should see her facial expressions. They're awesome.
And I am blushing. Oh my goodness, you guys are hitting me with some interesting questions. Best?
Service or sacrifice? Here we go. This is easy. Service or sacrifice?
Service.
Okay, here's another one. People look at me crazy when I blank in the store. What do you do in the store that they look at you crazy?
Feel the tenderness of a banana.
You be squishing on the bananas? Oh,
yes.
That's important. You don't want to take squishy bananas home.
I know.
Are they? I mean, I thought you could tell by the outside. I've never really squished a banana. I would be looking at you
Sometimes
crazy.
when they're green, they're still squishy.
Oh boy, I'd be standing right there looking at you. Oh wow. What's your favorite love song?
Favorite love song would be "The Ribbon in the Sky"
Oh,
by Stevie Wonder.
yes. Beach or mountains?
Mountains.
I knew it. I knew that question. I knew that answer. Okay. Never have you ever.
Never have I ever, never have I ever had whiskey.
Ooh,
Oh, really?
me either. Yeah, me either.
I've had it all.
What's your what? Oh boy,
That's another podcast. Anyway.
woo.
Okay.
What's your go-to happy dance?
The Carlton.
That's a good one.
Thank you for playing the game. Thank you for playing the game.
Oh my goodness. We had a rough start, but we got through it.
Yeah, we're going to have you back on the show so you can answer those questions.
I think you went into shock or something.
Like, oh, she's crazy.
I'm thinking about these bananas, girl. You gonna make me
squishy bananas.
Go squish some, touch some bananas or something.
Oh my goodness!
I had no idea they were squishy when they were green. Ew.
Some of them can be.
You learn something every day.
That's so true. Well, man, this has been great. So I know that I know you, but let's say we have never met each other and I see you in a building and we get on an elevator together. Tell me who you are in 30 seconds so that when if we were to walk away from that elevator, I would be like, this is who she is.
Wow. I would definitely say that I am a mama. I'm a sister and I'm a wife, and I just absolutely love helping people just feel loved. And so that is who I am. And I am a professional development coach, and I just really want people to feel how beautiful and amazing they are. And I absolutely love astronomy. And so if you ever want to go stargazing, girl, you just let me know.
All right, I'm gonna be calling you because I love astronomy also.
That might have been a little bit less than the whole 30 seconds, but that's who I am.
I'd be standing there talking to you.
That's who you are. So I love
well, you did awesome.
Yeah, you did. And something you left out, I believe, is that you are a published author.
Yes, humbled.
Yes. Oh my goodness. You've written some books. So tell us about your books and tell us how we can buy them if we want to buy them and all of that good stuff.
So that's beautiful. Thank you so much for this. All my books are available on Amazon, but I am the type of writer, I don't have a particular genre. I just like to express. And so my very first book was geared towards the beauty industry. It's called The Beauty Professionals Playbook. And it is a resource for those who are interested in going into the beauty industry. And it also gives my story on how I started and what things you can avoid when beginning your path into the beauty industry. And so that was my first book. Another self-help book that I had was called Facade of Forgiveness. And what that talks about is how we hide behind false forgiveness. And so growing up between the ages of 14 and 18, I had a lot of sexual abuse going on, and there was a lot of just really tough things that happened to me, which resulted in having a lot of unforgiveness towards people. And so I worked through those things and definitely have a lot more freedom from that bondage, because it is a bondage. And so I wanted to express myself, and I wrote about it, and I gave some tips, tools, and strategies on how you can help yourself on your journey, because everybody's journey is different. And I think that's really important. And so, like I said, I love self-help books. And so my third book was more spiritual. It's called Visions and Dreams. And I love to dream. Earlier, we talked about resting and making sure that you get that time because it is healing. And so in my dream state, I would have so many beautiful visions and dreams. And I wanted to encourage those people that were out there looking for a resource to have a space to actually write their visions and dreams, because it's important. And sometimes those messages can help you when you're awake in the real world. And so I wrote 3 self-help books. They're all different genres, but it's my expression and my offering to the world. You can find all of them on Amazon.com. You can also go to my website, amberrrowe.com. And hey, if you want to say what's up to me on Instagram, it's Amber R. Rowe. And that's it.
Okay. Yeah, you're not like Latanya. Latanya is a writer. And she
do you see my I don't think you saw my face this whole time. Like when she said, okay, offline, you got about 20 minutes. Yeah.
Yes.
20 minutes right after this.
For you.
20 minutes.
Yes.
Yes. Let's go. Yeah. All right. Yes. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, thank you again so much for being on our show, Amber. This has been such a treasure. And I want to get that information so that we can put it in writing for our listeners as well, because some people remember through audio and some people need to see it written down. So I definitely want to get the contact information and book information.
Sweet. Let's make it happen.
Our listeners. And I just want to say again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for being in our space with us today and sharing your wisdom. Latanya, do you have anything else that you want to say?
I'm just kind of like...
Y'all should see Latanya right now.
Patricia, you be hiding these people from me. I done made this about me, Rick. This is my self-care moment right now. People can say stuff and it's just about them, right? Yeah. But I love hearing about amazing women, people in general. And I love your energy. You vibrate very high. And you look amazing too. I love your hair. I wanted to say that when you got on. I love that. I just love telling people how much they just are deserved to be loved. And this has been a very great conversation. Like I say, I get a little mushy about these things, but thank you. Thank you so much. I'm gratitude for this. There's a lot. Yeah.
Thank you so much, you guys. I'm just, as I said, I use the word honored and humbled a lot because it's how I feel. And I'm just so grateful for this opportunity.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I think everybody comes out a winner here. We do, and our listeners do especially. So yeah, again, just thank you so much. And guys, thank you so much for your time. You could be anywhere in the world doing whatever, but you chose to listen to the Black Mom Diaries today. So we just want to say thank you. Thank you guys for being with us today. And, reach out to us. We want to hear from you. We want to communicate. We don't just want it to be a one-sided relationship. Like Amber said, communication is key. So if you want to reach out to us, look for us on Twitter. You can search us at Black Mom Diaries and find me and Latanya, our beautiful faces there. You can search for us on Facebook, Black Mom Diaries, or you can search for us on Instagram, Black Mom Diaries. Listen to our show. Leave us a critique. We want to know what you think.
Please do.
All the things. We know all the things. And if you have
show ideas.
Yes, show ideas. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, please email us at blackmomdiaries@gmail.com. And again, thank y'all so much. And until next time, I am Patricia.
And I am Latanya. And thank you for listening to
the Black Mom
Diaries.
Lounge. Yeah.
Yay.
Thanks so much for spending this episode with us. And if you like what you heard, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And of course, be sure to join us on the next episode of the Black Mom Diaries.